what's going on up there. Yep, that toolbar snapped right off. Bizarro, are you out there? Or Woody or something? Yep, you need good thing for safety chains. Is all I can say. Or that thing would be laying upside down in the ditch. I sure didn't expect anyone to pull up in front of me on a 65-mile-an-hour road and not look right when they're pulling out. They did. I didn't even take that shit off yet. That bumper's all bent up right there. It's touching the grill. It's just twisted around. And then it got, when the hit the brakes the truck just had too much weight and it pushed those tow bar arms together, even though I had it welded in one spot, and it just completely snapped them off. And the chain saved it, or else it'd be in the ditch. It'd be ruined. Um, that bumper, all the bolts popped out of it. There, there, over there. See, it's away from the grill there, but in the center, it's, right there. And it's tweaked down on that side. It got the trim on the outside of the fender there. The bumpers just pushed straight up against it. Oh, I've told so much stuff with a lot sketchier shit and never had nothing happen. And yeah, uh-huh. So don't think it can't happen, because it can. I just got lucky that I had that safety chain on there. Or if that chain went, well, it rammed into the back of that van. It hit pretty good. That lady, she just looks at me and drives away. I'm like, what the? Pulls out like 5 mile an hour on a 65-mile-an-hour highway. And I was only 145. That's why that truck's not more damaged. But at least old MEC got his van. I haven't heard from him. I don't know. He was pretty tired. All the hours in the car. I would have met him too. That was my intention, or I would have never even went. I would have never left the house in the first place. But I told him I wouldn't, and I had no way to. Had no way else to do it. I don't have a trailer anymore. I got rid of my trailer. I don't have any tow dollies. I used to have a couple of them. I don't know what happened to them. Someone probably borrowed them forever. They have forever kind of borrow. I never did use them. I always used the trailer. But I figured, well, I don't need to borrow a trailer or nothing. I can just tow that thing behind the van and should be good. But that didn't work out. But it could have been a lot worse. And people are looking at me trying to finagle, get two vehicles out of the middle of the highway, you know, without getting run over. Hmm. Well, Jimmy, he must have made it home because he didn't call or nothing. So I imagine his van made it home. I just wonder how much gas it took. You don't need to worry about sucking all the gas up in a candy van, Jimmy. I don't know how much it took to get to Jamestown. It's like 140 miles or something like that. But it still had a half a tank, and I done drove it. I only made it like 37 miles, so 70, 70, 80 miles I drove it there and back where I got detached. And then before that, I think I put maybe 25 miles. What is it sleeting now? Rain turned to sleet. So I think I put like a total of 110, 20 miles on that van. But that's not much, but hopefully it'll be good for him. Really hated to leave him like that, but I wanted to meet up with him where he needed me to, but he had to drive an extra 100. That's not like he was giving me any money or anything. I was just doing it because, but still, kind of wish I could have done what I said. There's a couple of people I called to see if they could follow me or whatever, and I worked on their car, did them a few favors and stuff, and oh, they were busy. Well, I drove by the one guy's house, and he has curtains open. He's sitting on his couch watching TV. He was real busy, so there won't be any more favors for him. He could have just said, "No, I don't want to," instead of said I was really busy. It's just watching TV, I guess. Usually, when someone asks me to do something, I'll do it. But if I don't want to do it, I'll say no. Not I'll do it later or I can get to it or whatever. No. It's either yes or no question. There ain't no in between. I would, but I'm swamped. Uh-huh. Swamped with your ass sitting on the couch. Man, it's pretty windy out. I don't know what the hell the deal is. It was warm out a couple days ago. Now it's cold and sleet, rain, shit weather. Wonder what Buzzard's doing today. He's probably got pink eye. So I was recording when I was hauling, towing that behind, and I don't have 2 cameras anymore because, someone had helped themselves to my camera gear when they stole this red Ford here that I got back. Anyways, so I had one camera on the back of that van outside on the window there. It caught what happened on the backside, but not the front, not the lady pulling in front of me, but it caught the truck ramming into the back of the van. Like I said, if I would have been going faster, it would have been way worse. If I went to have that safety chain on there, it would have went way, way, way worse. It could have fucking head on with someone else or went in a ditch and flipped over. It could hurt someone, whatever. Could have, but it didn't. You just don't get these trucks anymore like that. You just can't get them unless you're going to pay like, I don't want one all redone if I didn't do it myself. This one's pretty much rot free. So is anybody out there? Nobody wants to say nothing today. Buzzard, click the link. Mother. Don't worry about that headlight. I'll have to get that fixed with the fender. It might not have the blue stripe on it, but it'll be white fender. I didn't do that. Someone else did it. That's the way I got it. The grill was on the passenger seat, so I put that back in, and then I put a tie rod end link on there, or tie rod end, and a couple sway bar links, and aligned it straight because it was eating. Driver's side tire was getting eaten up on the inside. It was pretty bald. Brand new tire, only made it from Colorado, and that was it. But now it's good. I don't know why I got a camper anyways. I ain't going camping. Piss on that. I did enough camping. Lived in one of those things for an older one for 2, 3 years. That was enough. Working at oil fields in western North Dakota. Wonder what old M's doing. Old mechanic. He's probably just cruising around the states. Last time I heard, he was in Oklahoma. Said they sold pot legally there. All excited. He deserves it. He worked hard his whole life. That old fart. Cruise around the. He's gonna cruise around the states, I would imagine. Got his RVs, pretty much the same thing, except for he's got his engines. What do you call it? A Godzilla. That one's just a V10. It would have been fine with just a 5.4, and I don't know, need extra 2 cylinders because I can't tell any difference in it. Quit sleeping out already. Global warming. Well, you can't even see it. Looks like salt pellets on the ground. Oh, there's buzzard. Is that buzzard crossums?
What do you got? Some fake snow again up there?
Oh, I don't know. It's sleeting. It looks like salt pellets on the ground. Who's this? Say that name on the chat there, buzzard.
What?
Say the name on the chat there. Who is it? I can't see it.
I don't know.
Can you pronounce it?
Uh-uh.
Whoever you are. K something.
Yeah. What up, bro?
Ham and cheese. Man, it's been windy for 2 days now. We're raining.
Right.
I mean, windy. Yesterday was pretty windy, but today's worse. And the clouds don't look much better. They're clear over there, but on the backside over here, they're dark. I just came outside. I was gonna take that shit off the front of that truck, but I guess I'm not gonna lay in this shit and do it. I did that enough yesterday. It's pretty noisy.
Yeah.
What the hell? The wipers are just loaded up with sleet.
You talked to Jimmy C?
No, I haven't talked to him. No, he ain't called. I would imagine he made it. I was gonna ask him how much gas it took, but I haven't talked to him. Hopefully it made it.
You would have heard it if it didn't.
Well, you never know. He was pretty tired. He was getting his temporary sticker on it, and he was gone down the road. He wanted to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done been in that car way too long, I suppose. First thing he said was, "I need to take a piss. Where am I supposed to piss?" I said, "Well, I would imagine in the house, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have pointed to the bucket over there. Right over there in that bucket.
He wanted to,
Like,
take a video or whatever, but he was just, I don't. He just didn't. He was wanted to get out of. He wanted to go home. That's all there was to that. I don't blame
yeah.
him either. I don't blame him for that because I've been that same way where I want no more talking. I want to go home now.
Right.
Yeah. His wife was that Doris. My dog was outside the boxer and she was all happy playing around with her. The dog was all excited.
Yeah.
Old killer, but Chunky, he was in there fucking snoring away. He didn't even hear Jimmy come in. Normally he'd be barking to beat hell. Fuck, he didn't wake up. I'm like, damn, you old.
He was tired.
He was. He must have been up. He'll hear him in the middle of the night, 3, 4 in the morning. All of a sudden you hear, fucking eating food in the middle of the night. He needed a little snack.
Little late night snackola.
Yeah, 3 in the morning, and then you'll hear her. She sounds like a cow drinking water. He don't make too much noise when he drinks water, but she acts like she's fucking dying of thirst every time she goes to drink.
I'll hear mine sometimes. I'll feel him get out of the bed, and you'll hear the toenails clap to the fucking kitchen. Then you get him a good old drink of water, and then you'll hear him come back in there, and then he'll shake off real good, and then he'll get back up there.
He'll
And when
spin
he gets,
around a couple times before he jumps up, right?
yeah, and then he'll get up and go around in a circle a couple times. Then he just flops. He flops down like he's trying to wake me up or something. You know what I mean?
Chunky, he'll drop like he's this dead weight. His head will just flop down. I'm like, damn. But yeah, she spins around a couple times before she decides to jump, and then she'll look at the bed. Then she'll decide if she's gonna jump up there or not. Yeah, yeah, she's been doing that forever. And when she comes in the house off the leash, she does a couple spins before she comes to the door. I'm like, what's up with the spins, girl?
Uh-huh. This motherfucker I got when his was he's a pit bull and they just got big heads, and
Yeah.
when he was still a puppy, he had this big, enormous head and then a little body, And
Yeah.
I had
Could you
one of them.
imagine? Huh?
I said I had one of them. I had one of them like seats that come out of a truck that had the airbag in it. You know what I mean? So it was kind of squishy like, And I had
Yeah.
a sitting room in there, and he done took over that chair. That was his chair, And
Oh
he was
yeah.
over there. He was all curled up on that chair, sleeping and snoring, and all of a sudden I could see him out of the corner of my eye, and I watched him. He laid there, and his head kind of slid off the chair, and then whole body, his whole body started to slide off the chair, and it- almost his whole body onto the ground, and then as soon as his ass hit, that's when he woke up. And he woke up and jumped up and he thought I kicked him out of the chair. And it's like, oh, your big watermelon head pulled you out of that chair. Uh, yeah, uh, yeah, right. You ever see that one? There's one video I seen it a bunch of times on TikTok, and it shows the fat dog walking down the road. He's kind of short and fat, real fat, and he's got a muzzle on his face. And then the guy's saying, he's got a muzzle on not because he bites people, it's because he eats too much or something like that. Because he eats everything in sight. Yeah, yeah, right, yeah, zapper. I know you did. That's my good. This is my good foot now. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I've had people come over to the house before or whatever, and not really know them, and they didn't know what the dog was going to do, so I just put him in the cage. And they're- yeah, but they're like, I can't believe you put your dog and make your dog stay in that cage. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, he goes in there and goes to sleep by himself with the door open. You know what I mean? So me putting him, keep him from biting you, he already stays in there all the time. Uh-huh. Oh, that's his little that's his little house. And I've seen him take he get tired and just go in there and take him a nap all curled up and feel safe in there or something. Yeah. Yeah. Shit, it's like it's warm outside. I don't know what it is. Shit, it ain't even it's calm and sunny and warm. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't that's too hot. I like heat, but I don't like it that hot. The what? Yeah, I wouldn't have did all that myself if it was my shit, but Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I seen the video of it was a tow truck, and he had a pickup truck behind it. He had it hooked to the bumper or something. He didn't have the back wheels, and driving down the road, so the back wheels is off the ground, and the back wheels are spinning like a motherfucker because I guess it's in 4 wheel drive or all wheel drive or something. The front, front wheels is on the ground, and the back wheels was just up in the air, just spinning just as fast as the damn tow truck was going. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was a expensive enough truck to be all wheel drive. So they had it in 4 wheel low or 4 wheel high. Probably had it in 4 wheel high and front wheels on the ground, and it could have all wheel drive. Yeah, I don't think it was. You gotta have it. Yeah. Uh, yeah. uh, Yeah. Yeah. I had some dumb motherfucker come up to me in the parking lot one day at the I don't know, it was at the Kroger's or where it was, fucking Walmart or some shit, and asked me, they was in like a little car or something, and I was in a truck or something, and excuse me, sir, uh, do you have a spare tire? And I'm like, uh, well, well, yeah, you know, well, do you mind if we borrow your spare? I said, what do you mean borrow my spare tire? I said, for one, I says my spare tire ain't gonna fit on that little car. I said, for two, I said that's not something you loan out to people that you don't even know. Well, we'll get it back. Then they said that, they said, but we'll get it back to you. And I'm like, it still don't fit. It's still not gonna make it fit, you dumb motherfucker. Mhm. Yeah. I took the I took the center caps. Took the center cap. I took the center caps off the wheels so I could do the super clean video, which I ain't cleaned the wheels yet, but I like it. I kind of like it without the center caps on the truck. Yeah, not too bad. I'm gonna put them back on, but he took a fucking man that used to live here has been dead since like 2020 or 2021, and they're still sending him mail. Yeah. Oh, I've seen multiple times. I've wrote on the mail that deceased or whatever, and the mail people supposed to take it back. You know, they supposed to take it, but no, they won't take it. Yeah. Oh, these mail people know. These mail people know that there was only one person living here, and they know he's deceased because they know he fucking up and was gone, and his cars disappeared, and then nobody lived here for 2 or 3 years, and then I moved in, and they know, but they're just only thing they do is they get rid of the mail, they get rid of the piece of mail, So I quit even bothering with it, dude, and I go out there about every day or every other day just to pull something out that I got to throw in the damn trash, you know. So I don't care if it ain't, and I don't care whose mail it is. If it does not say my name on it, it goes in the trash. I don't give a damn whose it is. There- There's, there's false turdo. Yeah. Oh, your audio has been shit for 10 minutes.
With that, is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your camera been froze up too.
Is it?
Or it was.
Yeah, it could have been. I just got a notification saying my Chevy something from Buzzard. Did he put a video out or something?
I don't know. No, not today.
Oh, I just got a notification just right now
Yeah.
saying something about my Chevy or something.
I don't know.
I
I
know where
hadn't.
there's another
I
Chevy.
ain't
I forgot
nothing,
about.
nothing since I went live.
What's that? You see something over here?
See
Huh?
old
Uh
green
huh.
truck. I figure you done junked it.
Nope, I ain't messed with it yet. I might have to go get a pump now. I don't want to buy. I won't buy a cheap one for it neither because I'm not playing that game. Either I have enough money or I'm not gonna get one. That's just the way it is. I'm not playing that. Oh, if they got the pump itself, I'll change it out of the carrier. But
Yeah,
I'll do it be cheap that way. But I won't buy none of them other. I'll buy Delphi pump and that or whatever close and get the GM without having to deal with failure. But nowadays you never know. You might just end up with failure right out of the box.
right.
I hate that shit. There's nothing like putting a fuel pump in and having to change it out a couple days later or 6 months. Just cut a hole in your box. That's fine. No, I ain't
Yeah.
doing that.
Well, I didn't have no money at the time, and I dropped the tank on that Yukon just to put the cinder onto the
Yeah.
assembly because I didn't have no money, but the gas cage was fucked on it. So I dropped the
Yeah.
tank and put the cinder on it and got the gas gauge working again, and then about 6 or 7 months later, this fucking thing broke down at me on me at the dollar store, and I had to put a pump in it.
They just put that little where it clips into the side of the plastic, the
Uh,
the
uh,
level, the fuel
yeah,
level. Yeah, cylinder. Yeah, they were pretty easy to install. It's only like one wire or two wires. They plug right in. Yeah.
but it don't help when the pump goes bad.
Nope. You can beat on it with. Oh yeah, that's right. I told you beat on it with a hammer and it wasn't doing shit, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's right. I forgot you did. I forgot your
Cost
pump
me
went
two
out.
hundred. Yeah, it cost me $137 to have it towed home, and then I had to put a pump in it here at the house.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
it might have been like a that thing it might have lasted about a year and a half before the pump went out. But I don't had that tank. I ain't had that truck 5 or 6 years, and I don't had the tank out of it twice.
Yeah. I remember I did the fuel pump on the Tahoe and that was it was like cost on that pump back then when I did it because this is got to be 15 years ago now. It was like $500 for that pump, and I wasn't willing to buy that AirTech pump, so I bought the good one. And the tank is a bigger tank in those things, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. It's in there sideways, but some of them have it at the rear where the spare tire would be or whatever. But this one's in sideways, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to do it without a
Uh,
hoist.
oh yeah, you gotta the the tank's got to go. The back's got to go up and in, and then
And then
the
and then you take a chance on if you're trying to hook those lines up, you'll bust those stupid fucking plastic fuel lines off right on the pump, or you'll
yeah,
bust the pump itself. You know what I mean?
it's a pain in the ass. I did it twice. I know.
That's the only thing you really got to be careful with because you'll end up because it's plastic, you'll end up busting that shit, and then you'll really be pissed. I'm
Yeah.
pissed. Yeah. It's better to have a hoist and then a jack stand you can adjust to like a transmission jack or whatever. That's what I use.
Oh, that's what I had. That's what I had, but it still didn't. Still, okay. It's still hard to put it in because it just don't go straight up and in. You gotta tilt it. The back's got to go up in. You got to put the filter neck on, and then you got to get it up, and then the front's got to go up, and then go towards the front a little bit. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
drop. It don't drop straight down because of the frame and shit, the cross members and
yeah.
shit.
It goes that little hump goes over the axle or what, however the hell it was. However, I can't remember how the hell it was, but I know you had to go back first. Then you had to go ahead and lift up the front and try to put the straps on there, and
Yeah.
then try to line up the hoses that are they don't want to be flexible and get on there. You gotta
Oh, I did it
grease them up a little bit.
first. I did it the first time when I lived at the other place. And then when I had when it took me a long time to get it back up in there by myself, and then when I was living up here and whatever, it's like I had to have some help because I had to have my truck right then. So I called a buddy of mine and say, look, I need you to come over and just help me stab the tank in there. So he
Yeah,
was at
yeah.
the front, and it didn't take us but a few minutes to get it in there, but it was a pain in the ass doing it by yourself.
Oh yeah. Like when I was a kid, I was probably 16 and on my 59 Ford four-wheel drive pickup, the clutch had these that has the 3 fingers on it. Well, these ones were the clutch back then was I didn't know I didn't buy a new clutch or whatever, but one of those fingers had broken. It's got like a pin in it, so I went and got me a new finger for the throw-up bearing that pushes on it. I went and got me another finger out of another one somewhere. I took that transmission out, and that thing's 4 speed was you know 3 times heavier than I was back then, and I done I done put that finger in there thinking I was slick. I didn't really know much. I think I was 16. I didn't really know much about it then, and I just said, "Well, I'm gonna fix it myself." And shit, I got that finger in there, and I put that pressure plate back on there, bolted it back down, and it looked like it was good. Then I put the fork on the throw pin in there. And God dang it! It took I don't know off and on for 2 weeks for me trying to stab that transmission back into that motherfucker. And I was on a jack. It was falling off because you could take the center of the floor. It was bolted in where the shift tower is. That part you could unbolt it and go from there. So I was up and down in that thing trying to stab that thing in there. And finally one day I got another jack or something and a 4x4 or something put on there, and it went. I wasn't even really trying, and just slid right in there. I said, "You motherfucker!" You know, yeah, I've been trying this for 2, 3 weeks. But I ended up, God, I couldn't get no one to give me a hand. They're all scared it was gonna fall on them and stuff. I done had that thing drop on me and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I got it.
when I did the transmission pickup truck, dude, I pulled it apart and took it apart, and I found some spider gears in there. I had chips off of them, so I got another transmission so I could have the parts and whatever. And I called myself building my transmission. I put it in there. I drove it. It wasn't right. I took it back out, tore it apart again, and called myself fixing the problem. Put it back in. It wasn't right. Dude, I had the transmission out 3 or 4 times before I was ever convinced that I was good enough to drive down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that too. First few transmissions I rebuilt, those the check balls I was in, I put them in the wrong spot or
Yeah,
whatever. That's what happened. I didn't. You better, we didn't have a camera to be taking a bunch of pictures you could look at instantly back then. So,
that's what I
mm,
that's what I
yeah.
did. I still
Well,
fucked
back
up.
when I first did it, there was no you could take a Polaroid, I guess, but there was no phones or none of that shit where you could. I wasn't gonna spend a bunch of money on a camera because that's all you could really get back then. And I done learned the hard way on them. I said, I figured oh yeah, now I can rebuild transmission. I didn't
Yeah,
talk to this guy that had a transmission shop. He's gone now, but he done told me and showed me a few things. So I said, I can do it. He goes, yeah, you can do it if you just, pay attention. You can do it. It ain't that hard. So I said, I questioned him a few times, and then I went ahead and went on and did it to myself. And I thought I was all king shit, and that shit didn't work right because I had those check balls in the wrong spots or whatever it was. I then was
yeah,
trying to get diagrams of it and shit. Well, then he had a book or something. I borrowed one of his books, and it showed where they went, and that's the diagram of where it went. And he's like, he told me, I bet you got those check balls in the wrong spot. I said, yeah, I
yeah.
think I do too, because I don't remember. Yeah,
I made sure I took pictures when I did mine, but I had the camera phone or whatever, but
yeah.
bunch of pictures and then I ended up I was in the garage over there with 2 tables set up, one in front of me, one behind me, 2 transmissions, 2 700 R4s torn apart to finally get the one that's in the truck driving now. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah.
And I took them apart, dude. The only thing that I kept in order was the clutches. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
kept them all
the
in order.
packs, the steel and the discs. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept all that in order, and then the rest of it is like I just threw it in a bucket, all the nuts and bolts, and then when I put it back together, it's like fucking. I had a bunch of pictures and shit, and just slowly stuck it back together. I still, like I said, it took me. I don't know. It was 3 times or 4 times of having that transmission out
I
and
remember.
tore it apart, and the dog was getting tired of watching me take it out of the truck and put it back in. I think.
Yeah. I remember this guys. They had we were racing all the time on this one road. They're putting shift kits in there, turbo 350, turbo 400. They done taking that valve body apart, and they done fucked up the word rear. You know what I mean? That shit was shifting like it was like just bam into there. And I'm like, God damn, that thing ain't right. He's
Oh,
I
been a
asked
long
that
time.
guy again, I said, these guys putting the shift kits in. He said, blow that shit up. Yeah, shifting, always putting her shifter or B&M shifters in there, acting like they're goddamn racing machines. They was old $50 junkers.
That's why I don't. You won't see me stomp down on that truck anytime. I won't do it because I don't
Oh,
want to
because
damn.
of yeah, I
I
don't
don't want
blame
to be
you.
pulling that transmission back out.
At least it's easier on that one instead of like having a. Well, they're all pretty much easy to take out, but you just got extra work to do if you have a 4-wheel drive because then you gotta pull the
Yeah.
transfer case out, 2 drive shafts, and you gotta piss around
Uh,
with some other stuff. But
yeah.
I done made a lot of like turbo 350s when I had some old square body Chevys that were plow trucks back in the day, and we'd be burning out the transmissions in 'em, and you'd have two, three, four. Well, I did 2, 3, 4 turbo 350s laying around out of a car. That was long shaft. You just cut the shaft down and put that in, and people didn't know that back then or whatever. They could cut that spline down and then take the tail shaft off and cut the spline, and it'll work 4-wheel drive. And I done did that a bunch of times. Saved myself the hassle of rebuild. Was scared to do it back then, I guess, and then I finally learned how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ain't nothing to it if once you do it a few times and it works, you know what you can get away with and what you need to do. But usually the discs are burnt up, black, 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 muddy fluid in the corner or all kinds of
Yeah.
clutch materials in there. You know,
Stuck to the magnet.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to run a magnet on the bottom of the pan if you can. You can just go buy those ones and stick it right to the bottom of the pan on the outside, and it'll keep that out of the way. I know people I think even Peg does that on transmissions. I think he puts
Yeah.
magnets on 'em or whatever to keep it, you know,
I
keep
seen
the
him do
shit out of the
it.
gears.
He
Yeah.
did it in that video, his last video. He put it on the rear
Oh,
end.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, yep. The Fords always had those magnets in the cover. So did Chevy. I think they had GM or whatever. They have a magnet in the cover or whatever. But he puts extras on there. I think. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I think he does it on transmissions too. On those ones out of the Dodges he uses those 5 speeds or where they were. They had a Dodge had a deal on the six. I think they had a 6-speed transmission where you'd end up having to take and doing a revision where you pull the tail shaft off of the manual transmission and put the 6th gear. One of the gears or something on that shaft on the tail housing would be completely garbage or whatever. And I remember there was a revision on that. I did a few of them things. Yeah. And the neighbor that I got that band from, today I had to fix it for him. Well, it's not completely fixed, but he can drive it. He has a 2005 4-door GMC pickup, a half ton or whatever. He said it won't start. So like, what the hell? Went over there and I thought maybe it was, the key, all the lights lit up and the gauge says, it's enough amperage to start it. And there's nothing there. I thought it might be that ignition deal in the column, but it wasn't. So I took the power probe and I probed the relay for the starter, and it started right up. You know, well here I pulled the cover off that fuse panel out under the hood there. Fucking mice, shit, rat piss everywhere in that little fuse box there. Well, it done corroded all the relays in there. So we spent 3 hours cleaning the damn fuse box out and putting half the fuses in there because you couldn't get the shit off to even take and contact top of the fuse to see if it was good or not. So, and then got that with the alternators. Alternator's charging, but it's drawing the batteries. It's got a draw on the batteries going dead every couple 3 days. So I ordered him an alternator. I was like, man, at least it's easy to do. I wasn't looking to do it, but it's a few bucks, I guess. Yeah. Fucking thing was full of rat shit.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's a new. I don't even know he had it out at the farm or something. And he had it parked out there for like a week, and some bitches just shit all over in that fuse relay box. Not they weren't in the vehicle because, and I looked at all the wiring because I thought, well, usually when there's a draw, the wires are corroded. So I started looking around at the battery cables and negatives and stuff, and cleaned all them terminal ends, and I pulled that cover off, and I seen all that shit, and I'm like, yeah, there's your problem right there for the most part. Why it won't start.
Yeah.
He goes, "How'd you get it to start?" Huh? I said, "I bought a power probe over here," and because he heard it start up in his driveway, and he come running outside. I powered it up. I said, "Start right up." Man, I was just gonna go under there and start jumping, trying to jump the start, but you can't barely get your hand in there. He said.
Yeah.
So he's all happy. He got to go to the grocery store. His once a month movement. I think that's the only time he leaves out of his house. He's got a plug in for a battery tender right there. It's like plugging a block heater, and he plugs in this tender when he lets it sit because obviously he don't drive it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty happy though. He got to drive his truck today.
Super clean
Yeah.
email. Super clean
Huh?
email. Super clean email me earlier. It says it just says super clean video with a question mark. They're waiting on their video. It's like you'll get it when you fucking get it, man. You know.
Oh yeah, they're kind of big pests. Sometimes they're pesty about that.
Yeah.
But usually I'll send you the link when I got it or whatever. And that's what I tell them. But then
I don't.
that one time it was like 3 emails in a row, and I don't know if it was automated or what. And I said, "Why you email me every day when I done said I'll give you the link?"
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll
Thank
give it.
God
They'll
you ain't
get.
got my telephone number because I hang the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't. I don't even give them my telephone number.
Yeah, yeah. I don't give
They'll,
them my number either.
they'll get the video when they get it.
Yeah, I don't, it's not like
Motherfuckers
there's a
email me.
bit.
They got an email from which like I said, I don't do Facebook. I got a page, but I'm not. There's nothing there, no friends or nothing, and I use
Yeah.
it for marketplace. Marketplace. I got an email saying somebody tried to log in from Argentina and they blocked it. I'm like, well,
Yeah, I've gotten those before too, and I don't know. And then I told you, Dr. Harris or something that said Instagram wasn't following community guidelines on Instagram, and they done turned off my personal Facebook because my Facebook was linked to that. I said, I'm not. You can't even get a hold of them. I said, I'm not. No, I emailed that Meta or whatever. I said, I'm not Dr. fucking Harris, motherfucker. You delete my shit from. I had that since 2008. You delete my shit or suspend it and delete it. You can't see it anymore. And because of some Instagram policy shit, that ain't mine. I don't even
yeah.
post on the son of a bitch. I said, and
Well,
they never answer me back.
I don't got no post on there, no friends on Facebook, and you did that little story or whatever. So I just clicked. I liked it, and then I added it to my story.
Yeah,
And then over at Marketplace, I was like, "What is it?" I said, "It added it to Facebook too," and I'm like, "No." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I have,
yeah, yeah.
dude. I'm not posting anything else. I said it for
You gotta
there's nothing.
disconnect.
Post.
You gotta disconnect your Instagram from it.
I'm not. I'm not just. I'm not posting anything on these. I'm not giving Instagram or Facebook any free content anymore. Period. They're not. My
Yeah, they
content
want
costs
you to
money.
have
They're
ten
not.
thousand follow. They want you to have 10,000 followers to get anywhere on there. So
Well,
that's
I'm
the way
not.
that is.
even trying. I'm not giving them free content. My content costs money, and I'm not giving it to them for free.
Yeah, I hear you. I get pissed at like the TikTok deal because they don't keep saying I was done living the Netherlands or whatever, but and they say that their shit ain't updated. Well, I said, well, how the fuck you just determine I'm living in the Netherlands? Because I ain't never, my phone ain't never been out the country here, so I don't know how it possibly be could located in Netherlands. You know, quit playing fucking games. You just don't want to pay. That's all that is. When everyone else is in the U.S. on there, I don't know why
Yeah.
the fuck I'm not. Nah, they don't monetize because I'm in a place where you can't be monetized. Netherlands. Uh huh. When I done put location on my posts there. You
And
know.
people on TikTok keep crying about they're still talking about banning it, and we're gonna lose TikTok. And I'm like, so
Yeah, that's just to get views. Them son of bitches.
I don't even. Yeah, they'll put on. They'll do fake news themselves just to get people to argue with you in the chat and
Yeah. Oh
get
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
drama
That's
bullshit. And it's like I don't fall into that shit.
this.
Or they'll say
Yeah.
they'll ask the question, "Help me TikTok," just to get you to fucking get people to. Uh,
Right. That's just like that YouTube video I seen on that Diesel Creek. I'm like, he's stuck a needle in his arm and he's dead now. Shut
yeah,
the fuck up and just talk to the guy.
uh,
You make a fucking shit video about some guy, his up and coming, his to the top, to the tragic ending. Shut the hell, you lying motherfucker on there.
yeah,
I talked to Peg. I was like, hey, Diesel Creek, is he dead or what? I said, well, here, look at that. He's dead. This guy's saying he's dead. So,
yeah,
because whatever. He, that's just fucking retarded to be making videos like that. Or like the videos like that about that Gene Hackman, the unknown source of blah blah
yeah.
blah in the basement. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Something in the basement.
Everything's a conspiracy theory.
Right? God damn. And it's nobody talking. They got that AI voice talking on there.
Uh,
So it ain't that person themselves because they're too much of a fucking retard to be putting their own voice on there. And trying to make it sound like it's some guy off of fucking Unsolved Mysteries.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Holy shit.
I
And
told
when I get all the views too, I'm like, Jesus.
yeah, I told you. I told you there's another TikTok user on there with my logo and my name and shit. It got a
Oh,
picture of
yeah, I think I got one of them too. But I
got
don't
a
think anyone's
uh,
following it.
got a picture of my or a little video of my dog on. The only post on there is a picture of my dog or a video of my dog or something. Fucking 615.
They,
Like that
they
ain't even
stole
me.
the video and put it on there.
Yeah, and my logo and the name. You know you're big time. People's fucking creating TikToks with your shit.
Yeah, yeah. What the fuck are you thinking? Maybe you want to go after someone with a million followers or something. But yeah, there's been a few of them like, what the hell, man? And then all of a sudden, these Robert garages popping up on the YouTube, and then
Yeah,
and one of them had one of my videos or whatever. And then the rest he's working on motorcycles. I'm like, you work on motorcycles, but then you stole the video of mine and you're trying to act like you're me or something. I don't know. I never did
yeah.
say nothing to the guy, but what the fuck you want my shit for, or use my name or whatever the fuck. You
I
didn't
got
have my
like
logo or nothing.
I got like 2,800 followers on TikTok, and at the best, I may get 15 or 20 likes on anything that I post, and the most of it's
Yeah, you
eight or 10, 8 or 10 on everything, and then at the most maybe 15 or 20. It's like, dude, I don't. It's like they don't put my shit out there and don't, you know.
yeah, you gotta be. The dumbest shit hits on there. You could be fart or something, and then someone with a million views on it. Or you can sing the Muffin Man song and get views.
Yeah, I
So
done had a few. I done had a few funny videos that I come up with or whatever, and it's like, dang, it didn't even get my 5 likes on TikTok.
right, yeah, and then the dumbest shit you do gets the
Uh-huh.
views. Huh? What the
Yeah.
hell? I didn't even think that was good at all, and it was my own shit, and then gets all the views that don't make sense
Uh-huh.
because just that's why I just post anything because sometimes it don't matter, I guess.
Yeah. You see some people on there, they say, I live in blah 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 state. Where do you live at? Comment below. And it's
Yeah,
got
that's just to get to the
all
comment.
all the likes and it's
Yeah,
like fun.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that here in a little while. I'm gonna do that. What state y'all in? And then see
Yeah.
what and
Yeah.
say put it in the comment, and we'll see if that goes. I'll follow
Yeah.
you back, but I won't, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's that like the follow train shit. You learn right
Yeah.
away off of that shit.
They wait 3 or 4 days and
Yeah,
then they unfollow you.
yeah, because
Like
that's just bullshit. I mean,
it's slick, but TikTok shows real easy. Like you go through the list and like you're either friends or you're following. And if you're
yeah,
following, that means they follow you. So I go through my list, you know,
oh yeah,
every couple of weeks or something. I'll just scroll all the way through the list and somebody's unfollowed me, boom, they're gone. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Because whatever. I mean, this what are we fucking kindergarten where you're gonna say and then say play this game and then fucking unfollow because
Yeah.
whatever. That don't make sense to
I think
do that.
I think I've
My
got
dad can
about
beat your dad up, motherfucker. Give me my big
I,
wheel back.
I got 300 or 400 more followers and then people that I follow, and it ain't because of that. It's because them 300 or 400 people that I didn't follow were just fake ass accounts. You could just tell. It was some
Oh yeah,
woman, some picture of some lady woman had a couple little videos, and she followed me, and so I followed back, and the next thing I know, she's messaging me, wants to talk on WhatsApp or something, and I'm like, I'm gone. You know what I mean?
yeah. The other day, I was talking to Pig there, and I said, you know what? I just got a fucking message on Instagram there, and this lady says, yeah, I'm from North Dakota, da da da. And then she says something. She starts talking and asks me where I'm from. I said, "Why you want to know where I'm at?" I said, "What? That's fucking weird. You want to know where I'm living, or whatever."
Yeah,
And then she's like, "Well, I like to get to know you better." I'm like, well, "Why?" I said, I'm married or whatever." And and then she said, "Well, that don't bother me," or something.
yeah,
And then she says, "Well, I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, because that's the biggest city in North Dakota is Fargo." So she said, "I'm in Fargo. If you want to hook up." I said, "What does that mean? You want to hook up?" I said, "If you're suggesting that you want to sell your pussy to me, you can go fuck yourself," is what I
yeah,
said. And then she
uh,
says, "Okay, bye." Yeah, huh. That's what I
yeah.
thought, motherfucker, because I don't buy pussy.
Uh,
Good God. Yeah. You fucking try to want to hook up. What's that mean? I said. Pay
yeah,
for it? I said, hell no.
uh,
Fucking
you know,
hook up.
I'm gonna get off here.
All right. Yeah, me too. Bye
Yeah,
now. Bye.
bye, bye.